You're listening to
Did I go too soon?
WRFB Radio Free Britannia. And no other better freaking place in the world than Deltona, Florida. Here you are, lunch with no other than the dynamic duo, Laz and Jack.
And greetings, everybody. This is Laz. And where's Jack? Alrighty.
I was even talking. You forgot to turn up my volume. So
here.
Yeah.
I didn't touch anything.
Are you sure you didn't mute me?
Yeah, my hands free, man. I didn't do nothing.
So in the studio today we are joined with Sagara as well as Scroda.
Yes.
So thank you for that intro, Scroda.
And thank you for the host there. Cigar TV hosts us every day out in his channel.
So yesterday we did have Shooter's awesome world release party for his new album, the Countach. So I know you stayed throughout the entire thing. I bailed early.
Yeah, you went offline about 3/4 of the way through there. And I don't blame you. It was getting a little stale after a while. Great party nonetheless. They got a lot of really great numbers and feedback and, all sorts of great stuff they're looking for data for, how many people can actually fit in the zone. According to Chris, we had 2 instances with 130 max. And then there was a third one, 260 plus.
So yeah, we had 3 instances. Avatars Radio, I know, said that they did have 235 people listening, so that's always awesome.
Absolutely, great numbers. For something like this, first time in history, first time that, in known history at least, that... I saw chatter out there where people said, there's been songs released with a game, bundled CDs with a game, but never a album released inside,
an entire album,
inside a video game. One more time, Shroud of the Avatar is making history along with Shooter Jennings, and making things change, shaking things up as it may be. But meanwhile, before we get too crazy, for the record, today is Tuesday, February 23rd, 2016. Again, just like to welcome everybody. Like to get that date in so everybody who watches us in replays, rebroadcasts, whatever you want to call it, knows what day and what show they're watching. Since we do this daily, and we put it out there in replays throughout the week for you folks. But meanwhile,
yes.
What was your overall take, Jack? On a 1 to
as
10
far as
scale, and
as far as
overall,
a tribute album goes, tribute album, I would have to say I loved 3 or 4 of the songs. I can't remember their names, but my favorite had to be the one with Richard Garriott doing the voiceover.
You like that?
Another one. Yeah, the cover of Cat People was also phenomenal. That's the one with everybody's favorite guy, that very androgynous guy, Marilyn Manson. And then there was 2 others that were really good. I have a personal bias against the Never-Ending Story song, so I didn't really like that one.
Right.
But that's because I've never liked the Never-Ending Story song.
That's understanding. And Casey Cupcake's joining us a little late, but nonetheless, he's here. How you doing today, Casey? Or maybe not.
Very, very quiet. Yeah. Okay, we moved up Casey's volume up to 180%. Hopefully we can hear him.
Says, Richard Garriott's voice was in Chase. I guess that was the song title. I'm still waiting for the whole CD so I can sit down and give it a solid listen. on the headset. You gotta listen to an album through headphones to really get the full effect if you really love your sound. There's no real way. And again, these days with digital, depends on whether you're a real big audiophile or not. People still... I was tempted to buy the pink vinyl, but of course I don't even own a record player anymore, let alone know anybody. Well, I do, my father. And perhaps my brother still owns.
I know lots of people that own record players, and a very, very few that ever actually use them.
Well, my father does the oldies show that plays in WRFB weekdays at night. Him and his partner do an oldies show, doing the history of rock and roll. So he takes a lot of the old vinyl. He's still got 78s, for crying out loud, my old man. And he plays them, records the show, and puts them on digital format so that they've got them for later use. So I know people like him who are doing things like that. Don't know too many people who actually listen to vinyl anymore. The few people I do know, probably my DJ friends out there, who still have huge collections from back in the day.
Well, that and also collectors. Collecting vinyl is one of those hipster kind of things.
It is quite the passion amongst the audiophiles. But anyway.
Sounds much better.
What's that?
Oh, they always say it sounds so much better on vinyl.
Yeah. Casey sounds so much different today.
He's talking to his watch again.
Oh, okay. Sounds like he's in the bathroom.
I'm working. So let's see if I can figure this out.
Yeah, that sound effect courtesy of Laz, not courtesy of Casey. I'm glad you've got your soundboard working.
Well,
No,
as things progress.
But yeah, the thing with the party itself, we did miss Shooter actually doing a performance, and he probably didn't do that because there were 3 instances. Those instances, as long as you did not rotate your camera around and you stayed in place just dancing, they were okay. And it's like, look at things. Whatever you do, don't turn on names.
I had a few problems. I got disconnected a couple times and bounced between the instances.
Yes.
For the most part, though, panning and moving a little bit wasn't too bad. And then, for some reason, maybe it was just me. The last hour or two was pretty smooth across the board. I didn't lose any connections, and if I did, I came right back to where I was. I was chasing Shooter around trying to get the shot of him playing one of his songs or a song in the game. And what I believe was the thing to stop that, of course, was the plague, courtesy of the Master of Chaos himself.
Oh, yeah, that definitely killed everything.
Every time you picked up an instrument, the plague would kick you, and you couldn't do anything. And there were pleas.
Well, every time you
crowd.
also started to dance, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, there were pleas from the
For a
crowd
mass
to
cure.
get a mass cure, which I don't think is within the realm right now. They did a mass kill to try and kill it, but that never happened. That didn't work. That's the next best thing. If you can't cure everybody, you kill everybody and make them come back from, but apparently that didn't work either. Whatever was causing it. Might have been the Chaos Demons, might have been the Vortex Llamas, I don't know. The Vortex Llamas made an appearance last night, live in a scene, not like on the Overman map where we showed you the other day. That was cool. We got a lot of fight scenes that I'll be clipping some stuff and putting that out there later on today. We ran real late into the night. Did 4+ hours of streaming of this event last night, so there's a lot of footage, and I'm not going to put the whole kit and caboodle out. It'll take forever to get it out there anyway.
Yeah, my audio through my speakers to my mic ended up with probably a few hundred copyright claims.
Really? Well, you serious?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I just deleted the video.
Ah, okay. I would have liked to have seen what they caught and how much had to be played, actually.
Well, none of it was Shooter Jennings stuff. It was all the stuff that was on the radio before and after.
Ah, okay, gotcha. No, I was just tuning in the audio to Amber. I was listening on the one, the side machine, and when she would come on, I'd put the audio onto the stream so people could hear over the stream, and I would get a little clip, of what the song started after she, finished speaking. But for the most part, we kept that audio out of it. And of course, as well, we were requested not to rebroadcast the album in stream last night, and of course, we
Of course, a
respectfully complied with that.
couple. Yes, we complied with that. Unfortunately, a couple of the other streamers did not get that memo.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It was a nice party nonetheless. It was great to see all the people turn out in support of it, see the community. I never saw the quests, never saw the performance that was supposed to be done by the theater troupe. A lot of things.
No, the quest turned into the riddle, but it's one where I think, because I didn't get I knew that you were supposed to end up in vengeance, but
Yeah,
I didn't
knew that
get
too.
But
I
I didn't hear the last riddle prompt correctly, I guess, that said, and you're supposed to go to this place.
Now, actually, let me pull that up. Let's pull that up on screen real quick, because this is really what stumped me. Let's see. Where were the riddles?
Oh, the riddles?
Last night. Trying to find what forum they were in so I can pull them up for everybody.
I didn't understand a bit of those.
Well, yeah, that and...
I had a couple of
I'm a
them.
little ashamed.
I'm guessing it was in Gildan Town Hall, probably. We'll pull that up and take a peek, see if we can't locate it.
See, this is the problem with the official forums, is they are very, very confusing of where things are being put.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out here now. Let's just see. Let's do a search for riddles. Nope. Yeah, for the life of me, it's probably already buried someplace. But I mean, what I was going to get to was that the riddles were, paragraphs. I mean, you really had to sit down and look at these things, unless you're a real die-hard, fan of these things that they were talking about. Yeah, for the life of me, I can't figure it. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Pre-release community events, maybe?
And the winners of the riddles were also recipients of the pink LPs.
The pink vinyls, yes.
Yes.
As we were still trying to figure
And
out.
that was a change from what they had said earlier.
Yeah, as, they were supposed to be giving out the wax cylinders. Never saw any of that actually happening. There were a couple flubs, I gotta admit. There's a lot of things I expected to see that we didn't see, unfortunately. And where is those chatter happening?
I can't find the riddles.
Yeah, neither can I. I keep hearing chatter or things inside of Discord here.
Could be private messages, maybe? I don't know. Oh, I found Shooter Riddles.
Where was it?
It is in the General Forums Fire Lotus Tavern.
The dings with me getting this set up on another computer. Is this sounding better?
Yes, you sound normal.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
bring this up
so
on
this
the screen. This is what I mean. It's just...
in a future most dystopian of horror lies divided between wealthy and worker. Dark spires of steel reach sky and heaven, a metropolis built upon the oppressions of legend. A mad tinkerer, overcome by grief, created a facsimile of love, a woman now deceased. With purpose twisted by hatred and revenge, this robotic form was driven to his evil ends. Citizens rallied behind this seemly form, unknowing of the ruse, unguarded by her charms. Now the metropolis full in revolt, and Frieder took courage, and the truth was told. With plot revealed, false skin burnt away, the world's notions of freedom and love would sway. The once grand metropolis spires, tall and arching, would weigh no longer upon the backs of the working. The tinkerer fell to his doom, his hold lost of power, falling, his body display at the base of the
Tower.
blank tower. Yeah, but I mean, it's like
Right,
that
yeah.
is too long for it to go over the air.
You're listening to this on the radio, and, you know...
Oh yeah, I forgot what we were doing before she even finished reading it.
Yeah,
So.
okay. You're listening
Yeah.
to this on the radio, and you didn't even hear the first, okay, you have to solve this riddle part, and you're listening to it, you have nowhere to go. Even in the written form like this, I mean, I applaud them for the work, don't get me wrong. I applaud everybody for everything they did. It was a great, great, great event. But even looking at this riddle in this form, I would have to sit here and ponder and look at it going, I still have no idea what they're talking about. Now, what does this refer to? If
Well-
you guys can answer that for me. Anybody?
Yeah, no idea.
Okay. So how did you know at the base of the tower?
Power tower.
I thought it was a reference to the Dark Tower.
Okay. Now, I guess those are good ways, but I have no clue. We're talking robots, we're talking Metropolis, we're talking a character.
All types of things.
Yeah. And you get to
But
hear
it wasn't.
once,
It's not actually a reference to the Dark
before
Tower.
it got posted out there. And again, I was totally confused myself, to tell you the truth. But again, you look at this list here. There's four riddles, and to just try and decipher these in a matter of moments, yeah, I didn't get it. That's just me.
I didn't get the Werecat one for sure.
I know it was a reference to cat people, I believe, from the 80s. The movie came out in 82. There's
Right.
another version before that in the 30s or something like that.
But
But I didn't know the answer of Obsidian because I also didn't get to see that there's actually a rhyme scheme there with Prison, Oblivion, and Obsidian, but a shitty, very, very, very shitty.
I
rhyme
got to
scheme.
applaud the 25
But
people who knew all this information.
Well, they're more than likely working in TeamSpeak together.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah,
that's a lot of.
But
goodness.
I was trying to put out my answers out on the air, anyways. If you're watching my stream, but the third one, the never-ending question, where the answer is merely a speck. I thought it was a grain of sand,
Right.
not a speck of sand.
Oh, spec should have been a giveaway.
Spec.
Yeah,
again, who
well,
would've put
yeah,
that
spec had
together?
to make it into the giveaway, but yeah.
Who would have put that together? Not me. Anyway, so it was a little confusing. I was really looking forward to getting Shooter doing a song in the game. That's what I was really looking forward to. The rest of it,
for him to play something.
yeah, the rest of it, of course, is life here in Shrouded Avatar as we know it and love it. Parties, adventures, stuff put together by the community. But I was just looking forward to, seeing Shooter actually play one of these instruments. Last time we got to hang out, I don't believe the instruments were in the game just yet. We were just out adventuring together and fighting things. And
Well,
yeah.
I do know that the playing of all 7 players, that did not happen because they ended up in different instances.
Yes, yeah. A sorting
And so,
feature that we
due to-
know is coming again, and we're waiting
Well,
to see how.
for one,
Go ahead.
the sorting feature aside, they really do need to make it so that way for events, maximum scene size can be increased up to 500 or more.
Or at least start holding events in
Now-
basements.
This has been one of my complaints almost since day one of coming into Shroud.
Yeah, but if you decorate a basement fully, especially if it's a keep or castle sized basement, that thing is a lag monster in and of itself.
That's first. Second, why in God's creation would you decorate the inside of a house and try and cram hundreds of people into a little room when you're in the middle of a metropolis with a beautiful square outside where there's plenty of room for people to spread out, not be on top of each other, and hopefully not induce so much lag. My thought is more people spread out, even in the same scene, would be a lot better than 130 people crammed into one room. I don't know if it's just my thought process, or it doesn't matter whether we're all in the same room or not.
No, that, and then take down a bunch of the rest of the pot and have people not summoning animals and things of that nature.
Setting off
plague,
fireworks. What do you mean?
everybody was, trying to cure themselves. So, I mean, cure.
Well,
All I heard was, cheem,
Yeah.
people casting the spell.
Well, as far as the plague goes, you also end up with another issue of the summons of the monsters at the very end. You end up with all kinds of just little nuances that cause tons of problems.
Well, don't get me wrong. Everybody loves
That's one
the
where it's like,
summons at
yeah.
the end. Everybody loves the big battle with all the bosses.
Yeah, big battle's fun and all, but you know what?
But
It's a lag fest, and if you are an outsider looking at the game, and this is your first visual, is to see a very stuttering stream. It's not a good reflection of what the game is or supposed to be.
right, but they didn't spawn these in the room. They were out in the middle of the town where there's plenty of room.
Yeah,
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
go back and look at the streams that we did. Most of that video looked pretty darn sharp because it was out in the open.
yeah. I looked at your stream a little bit, and it was pixelated.
Was it?
It wasn't.
I look
Yeah.
at it from what I'm putting out here, and I can see when it lags.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't anything I don't think like.
But when I was looking at it on Twitch, yeah. But I mean, the event itself was friggin' awesome. As far as the first listen in to Shooter Jennings' album, I just wish that the technology was there on Portalarium's side to have actually made it a much smoother and better event.
Yes, again, something we hope we're going to see before
Yeah,
launch.
and this is stuff where level of details are very important, as well as optimizations for graphics, and as well as the number of people that can fit into a scene. All of that information is extremely important. But this is early access, so we need to move on from this and to other things.
Yes, we do have.
We do have
normal show.
stand-up corner. Yeah,
So
normal
we
show.
do have a new stand-up corner. We've got Edward Newgate telling me he's got a new poll for those Dev Plus people. Take a look in Dev Plus housing. There's a new poll out there for you folks. I'm not going to go into the particulars, but if you can read my screen, you'll see what he's talking about.
I think
But,
Edward Newgate said I could use his Darkstar cloak.
Oh, nice. I got a couple of those.
I have one of those somewhere.
Yeah, I got one or two floating around. 3, 4. I think I got like 3. Anyway, do you have the stand-up corner in front of you?
Yes, I do. So this is the stand-up corner from yesterday, which was Monday, February 22nd. Remember, today is February 23rd. So yesterday, the art department, Bob was looking at bugs in the Kobold. Sorry. Yeah. And the Kobold Castle. Kevin was working on the male avatar polish and bugs. And character artist interview. If you are a character artist and you are looking for a job, Portalarium is hiring, so please check that out.
Yes,
Leo is working on Leo is working on sound effects list for release 27 documentation and bugs. Matt was working on the
talking about interviews. Yesterday's stand-up that we were in.
Yeah. Matt was working on the offhand animation, blending, and bugs. And the character artist interview. Reed was working on the collision for barren player homes and basement growth scripting. Scotty was working on the Kobold props galore. Yeah. Over in design, Brandon was working on cookie recipes and crowns. Dan was working on bugs and player town upgrades. Finn was working on the Obsidian Forge. Gina was working on in-game events and release 27 prep. Keith was working on bugs and player town update review. Richard was working on bugs and Skrek world building. Yeah, sorry. Scott was working on bugs and NPCs in Necropolis Polish. Sorcerer Steve was working on the Malice world building and bugs. Jason was working on decorations, loading improvements, and book fix tool. Wizard Smoke was working on bugs and polish. One and Only was working on bugs. Burning Toad was working on bugs and builds. Tassilo is working on web updates. Zach Shepard is working on bugs. Release 27. Sorry. Over in QA, James was working on. I'm sorry. Release 27 player documentation and regression test. Michael was working on documentation and review and customer service and regression tests. Reese was working on localization support. I'm sorry. Beatonwood was working on localization support and regression testing and QA forms and sanity testing. Our production management and other group. Atos was working on bugs. And super tough enemies and performance in-game events. Dallas was working on the weekly update. Michael Hutchinson was working on bug. Just one. Just one bug.
One.
Yeah.
Bug.
And character artist interview in New Skies. Richard was working on bug. Hunting. And playtesting. Yeah. Release 27. Chaox was working on release 27 bugs. Thank you. Star was working on release 27 post and player town post, endure instructions, and character artist interview. So that player town post is in Dev Plus. So if you are a Dev Plus member, please check on over there and see what he has to say. So we can end up with another thread that's 50,000 pages.
Yes, absolutely. That was what we were talking about before the show, but I need to find out some more information about that. There's some good intentions in there, but I'm still a little shaky on the wording. And
you know what? You can ask a question. You have that right.
Yes. Well, again, I haven't read all 10 pages of replies to it yet either. So I want to see if some of my questions might be answered there. You know how I like to read the forums, but I don't like to read the forums. I only read the important stuff like that. I try and stay out of all the other
the dev post and not the other miscellaneous stuff.
All the other scuttlebutt and crap that's out there and opinions. When I find something that I'm passionate about, like the deck system, we talk.
You just latch onto it and bitch forever.
Exactly. The rest of it I don't care about. I still don't understand. I've got 10 slots and I've got 50 spells. Makes no sense. Okay.
You only have 50 spells? You forgot
Yeah.
pots and everything else and food
I'm
and
not,
things like that.
you
Although
know
you're
me,
no
I'm
longer
not
allowed to
playing
eat food
yet.
in combat.
Is I do the bare basics just to get around and be able to run around and adventure and do a couple things. I have by no means even delved halfway into what I really want to do here in Shrouded Avatar. And that's what gives us the ability to do what we do here, bringing you the show. If I was actually out there playing every day, I wouldn't have time for this.
No. Yeah.
I'd be up there in Themo's realm of the world. Themo and his abs. I noticed he was running around the other day, and one of his pets were named Themo's abs. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Got a good laugh out of it. Gotta love Themo luck.
With his Earth Elemental summon?
I don't know if it was an Earth Elemental or not. I just do know
I think it was
that
an Earth Elemental summon.
Yeah. Man, I got somebody ringing the bell. I will be back in just a moment.
Thermo? Themo. So Casey, anything you want to say about the Shooter Jennings release party? Although I said we were going to move on.
Even though it was kind of laggy at times, it was still fun. It was great to actually get to hear his album early. It was like first time album's been released inside of a game. And even if you weren't able to do the quest and get giveaways, well, you could still go order it and support an artist who seems to be stepping outside of the status quo.
Yeah,
against the system.
He's definitely expanding the horizons or I should say genres that he's targeting, because this is a tribute album to Giorgio Moroder, who did a bunch of 80s or 70s and 80s songs, and so this is just a collection of covers, which is really, really cool that he did that.
And then a bunch of tie-ins to different movies and games and all kinds of things like that.
Yep.
So I even told him, like, hey, it was a great show. Even though it was kind of buggy here and there, at least we got to hear you.
Yep.
So good job. Yeah, and I enjoyed hearing the Richard Garriott one. That was beside the fact that I'm playing his game, it was a good song.
Yeah, it was a great song with I like the way that he broke up the conversation multiple times to where he's talking about game worlds and things like that, and it really makes me want to go read Ready Player One again.
I don't think I've read it. It's on my bookshelf. I might
Okay,
have.
yeah, I only have the ebook. So, Scroda, Sagara, y'all want to say anything? You can talk about how it's like to take over Casey's job at the keyboards.
I had fun at the after party.
Yeah, what happened at the after party?
Somebody spawned a bunch of trolls and dragons and
I think I saw dead phoenixes, all kinds of stuff. Thing was, I couldn't figure out who was summoning them because I know for a fact that it wasn't Matt. So it had to have been a dev who was hidden or summoned them and ran off.
I believe it was Dark Star.
One of them who didn't say hi to me in game.
Yeah, I didn't see Matt at the event last night, so it probably was not him, unless he was invisible the entire time.
He's there. He just doesn't go by Matt in the game. It's like I have no idea who the. There was one that kept showing up around at me at the party. Still have no idea.
Are you referring to Scrambler?
Yeah, was that one of Attenwood's?
No, that is not
Bot?
Attenwood.
Alright,
Nope.
I'm back with you guys. So where are we at? What are you guys up to now?
We're already
We're
at the
just-
calendar and almost finished.
Yeah, right. It's Tuesday. I know better than that. There's nothing on the calendar today.
Yeah, there's nothing on the calendar. I mean, what else do we have to talk about? We have yet to talk about the weekend update, although most of the weekend update was probably dedicated to Shooter's Party, and I need to go find
well,
it.
we have, of course, 6-day countdown coming up. If anybody wants anything out of the Stretch Goals store, you better get it the next week,
yeah.
next 6 days. All the items in the Stretch Goals store are going bye-bye. Will no longer be for sale.
And if you really think about it, and if you are a rares collector, buying from the Stretch Goal store is probably one of the best ways to actually get a bunch of rares, because if you look at the prices and then you can try to guesstimate how many people have actually invested in these things. So if only out of the boats package, which includes the Admiral's hat, Admiral's outfit for men and women, rowboat house decoration, longboat house decoration, anchor houseboat, spyglass, or you could buy the entire package for $100, and you start looking at that and realizing that only $21,000 was raised from that one package.
Yeah.
So if you do, I mean, that means a maximum of 2,100 of those, or I should say 2,160 of those packages have been sold.
Plus, I mean, come on, this Admiral's outfit is pretty stylish.
Oh yeah, Admiral's outfit is pretty cool, especially when you dye it black.
Now, are those dyeable? I didn't know you could dye. Yeah.
They are, but that elven dress isn't.
Yeah,
I'm stuck with a brown elven dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that flatters.
Although you can see my man
anybody.
cleavage, it's pretty cool.
One of the worst piece of clothing ever in comic book guy speak. Worst dress ever. And what was that supposed to actually be? That was supposed to be Mage's robes, I believe it was.
Yes.
Yeah. They do not flatter my manly shape. That's all I know.
Yeah, they give men side boobs.
Boobs. Boob.
I have them in my bank.
Yeah, I don't think I have mine on me. It's not something I carry around.
But the Elven package, if you think about it, the Elven Home in a Hill, that at $75 is something that will probably sell for 3 times that amount after everything's expired. Yes, especially if we come closer to final wipe. Especially if you can plant crops on the grass.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Of course.
It would be cool though.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be cool if we had a grass rooftop. You see people doing things like that in major cities. Oh, look at Casey. Has he got it on him?
Oh yeah.
Yes, he does. Casey's sporting a mage robe. That looks funny with that hat. Oh, he's got the wings on too. See, I like the wings.
You dyed the wings, didn't you?
Yep, and they never ever come out the color that you dyed them.
Now, where do the wings go on your paper doll, if I may ask? I haven't put them on. How are you able to wear the wings along with the mage robe?
They're in a cloak slot.
Ah, okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Well, so someone actually has to text myself and Casey why, Casey? Why are you wearing dresses? Hey, if he's comfortable wearing a dress, by golly, let him.
Next week, we're going to be wearing kilts, so that's all I know.
Yeah, I'm going to be wearing a kilt for the rest of my gaming experience.
It's pretty much going to be me as well.
It's my favorite dress in a UO. It'll be my favorite dress here. So remember,
waiting for a long time.
Yeah.
Sporting my walking cane.
Yes, that's going to be interesting
Yeah.
to see. again, like I
So
said,
remember, six days for the stretch goal store. That is extremely important. Make sure that you get some stuff out of the stretch goal store, especially if you are a collector. And from there, we'll end up with all kinds of other fun stuff.
yes. Now, do we want to go ahead and again? I think you were right with the weekend update was mostly.
Well, we do have the stuff from the Making the Shores of Malice Part 2. So we do have more artwork there.
Well, yeah, okay, just a little
We
bit
can
more
skip the
artwork.
shooter stuff, yeah. As well as the Making of Shrek Part 2.
Shrek.
So we have interior views of those two. And the Making of Malice really does have some cool pictures.
Bring this up on screen here.
Yep,
I
and
love
whatever you do,
the
clicking on the
hand
videos,
Click on what?
clicking on the pictures does not make them bigger. But
Oh,
if
yeah.
you zoom in,
I clicked on the first one, Making a Malice 2, and it gives me the pop out. Allows me to,
it gives me the pop out, but it's not bigger
no.
on my computer. So Malice 2, remember, they're focusing on the interior dungeon and its surrounding chamber, including the Well of Sorrows. It's populated by the undead. So, but if you look at that main chamber, it looks really cool with all the crystals and the eerie glow. And I love the design concepts or where these things come from, because that type of drawing, the handwritten drawing, I can do.
Yeah, I mean, this is what always gets me. I always love to see the hand-drawn, part that we have here on a couple different pieces of paper as he's building the map out. I mean, if you remember back in the day, in the early MUDs and role-play games, you would get out your paper and map them out, sort of like this. Real good throwback to stuff like that. As well as what the rendered drawing is, with the rooms, the way it's laid out, and then of course the inspirations that they draw upon. Always great to see that stuff. Casey, we can do that there in a minute as well, because there was, of course, the Austin Players Gathering this past weekend as well.
We talked about that a little bit yesterday. A little bit, very, very little. We mentioned it, but the all these skulls on the wall, where it's actually based off of a real crypt, is actually really cool. Although they went crazy with the amount of skulls versus the inspiration. Although those are all like femurs.
He tries to base most of his off of real life inspiration, as far as I've been able to tell and hear from him.
Oh, absolutely. There is the Warrens have been largely inspired by the Paris catacombs. You also have the that church that is completely built out of skeletons and skulls and just body parts left and right. I forget exactly where that's at. It's the
You could put
Church
it
of
on
Bones.
the stream on the add-on store, because I would totally live in a bone house and make cupcakes.
And make cupcakes.
There you
That'd
go.
be
There you
pretty
go.
sweet.
Bone house. I'm living the bone house. Make cupcakes. I love it, Casey. I love
Bone.
that shit. I
Yeah.
tell you.
Past the shooter stuff and look at the Making of Shrek.
Shrek.
Yep, and this is done by Richard Mady, who was the guy that won the level design contest.
Now, this was back in 2014, was it? When that contest was
Yeah,
done?
so he did win that first scene jam. So we end up with they're working on this section of the world and bringing in more kobold influence into the game. So this is the entering of the town of Shrek.
Which looks like it's underground.
Yeah, it's underground, which is actually really cool because this is going to be their first underground town. So it's going to be inside the mountain.
Yeah, it's going to be inside the mountain. Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool because this is going to be their first underground town. So it's going to be inside the mountain. 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 So it's going to be inside the And I like the incorporation of like the Tesla towers as well as a little bit, although there's only three pictures for that one. And we're listening to the final countdown.
Yes. Now, of course, underneath that, R27QA is up. It was patched last night, so there's some new stuff in there for folks to play with. I'll be heading right on over there after today's show myself.
Oh, yeah.
Another update was the public cache chests are now POTable, which means that you can now place them inside your player-owned towns. And depending on the size of the town is how many chests you can place throughout the town. The list here is up on screen. Hold fast, you can get 1 chest. Hamlet, 2 chests. Village, 3 chests. Crossroads, 4 chests. Towns, 5 chests. Cities, 6 chests. And a metropolis gets 7th place throughout the world if they wish in their town.
Quests in game, so you can do your player run quests, which actually makes it a lot better.
And then, of course, final call, folks, for those lords and ladies of the manor and dukes out there who want to get down and see the folks down at Portalarium and do the Dukes and Lords Roundtable, have lunch with the folks, get a tour of the studios, and sit down with Richard and the team. There is a limit of 20 seats for this, I believe it was.
Yeah, the Lord British's Britannia Manor tour and dinner. I wish I could go to that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, New York.
Then from there, it's March 18th. Then VIP Designed Roundtable Portalarium tour is actually limited to 20. And hey, I'm in that picture.
Are you in this one?
I am sitting across from Chris Spears. Yeah.
Oh, yes, you are.
I am right. Yep. Yeah, so I was actually there when...
I've been there.
Yeah, that's the Chinese restaurant. Yeah. You've eaten there as well. And Blake Blackstone is right next to me, and Style Teckle.
Sitting right next to you.
Sir Frank is also on the other side of me. Then Stars down there. Yep. Got lots of people.
Now, the story and scene thing was something that Wambi brought up. He was talking about this last Sunday. There was the player-owned town get-together run by Winfield and the folks, and one of the things that Wambi was showcasing was story and scene, where these stories are placed within the scene for people to explore in player-owned towns and such, where they create their own storyline for the inside of the towns. I took a look at it. Pretty interesting stuff for those of you who want to explore this kind of thing. By all means, check it out on the newsletter here. There's a couple posts in the forums on it where they give you a little bit more specifics, and you can go out and actually visit the locations, check them out yourself, and see if it's something you may want to be doing for your own towns. So some good stuff by Wambi out there.
Yeah, he's got a couple of different options for starting quests, and then from there you actually play around. So you do have some other interesting events. Right. And then you also have the Sandalux Entertainment presents Bingo Bango.
That was this
That's
past
gonna be
Saturday.
This. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is a lot of these events, unfortunately, I didn't see any advance notice about them. We did not cover the calendars last week due to us being a little busy. So this didn't really get out to the general public till Friday night on the release. I do not know how this event went. I would have loved to have checked it out, but things were crazy last week. And of course, Hometown has moved. For those of you people who do not know, it has been relocated, and Hometown is now directly to the east of Soul Town. It is no longer an island. It is now using the
Yeah. Then
grasslands
you also have. Yep.
template.
Don't forget that if you're looking for a greenhouse, the round elven greenhouse is on the add-on store. It will facilitate growing of plants. Otherwise, you can always get the bigger greenhouse, the one that Laz has on his lot, from the stretch goal store until for the next 6 days. So make sure you will want, if you're going to be growing a lot of things, you do want a greenhouse at some point in time.
Yes, if not, just to put your pretty plants and make a nice looking scene as well.
Just make sure what you're growing is legal in soda in your POT town.
Hey, if the
That's right.
gods put it in the game for us, I shall grow it.
Mods put it there for you to use.
That's right. It was put
Now, there
on
is-
this.
There's one thing. Rustic pretty much has the portion of his website where you can fill out the quest information fleshed out. So if you have been waiting to post quests for Hoblaw 3, get on there and do it.
Hobloth.
And I believe there's about 20 slots still available.
Hobloth.
Remember, Hobloth is going to be June 1st through 5th in Austin, Texas.
Go there for my
Lord
birthday.
British's properties. Yeah,
Yes, he is,
65 acres of fun.
He is transforming Lord British's property into Buccaneers Den, is it this year, I believe? As it was. We're going to be actually visiting Buck's Den.
I don't think it was Buccaneers Den.
I thought it was. Let's go look this out.
I think that was the last one.
Let's look it up. We'll bring Hobloth on the screen. It's been a couple days or week or so since we've spoken about it. But if you go to nbnn.info, up in the links tab there, you will find under news a link to Hobloth. You can come out here and look at everything that's out here. Where did I see that?
All the cool kids are going to Hobloth, everybody.
That's right.
Of Legends of the Hearth that took place in Buccaneers Den.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do the same thing here, is what I read.
Let's see.
But of course, a lot of information to go through here. What is that? I know that song. Is it 500 miles?
I have walked. I have
500
walked
miles?
a very short distance. The only problem is it's probably going to get my video flagged for copyright violation again.
I haven't been flagged for any in-game music recently. That does happen every once in a while, depending on how good our musician is.
Oh, there is a very small map of Lord British's property
Where you find
near the
this?
bottom. Resources and design tips under the quest framework. So there is a little map of Castleton. I have been there. That is what it looks like, with the ship and the little keep. Makes for great wars and battles.
I can't wait to finally get out there and see it for myself.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I got all sorts of stuff lined up. I am gearing up for the adventure as it may be. I will have a camera mounted to my body so that I can actually get a first-person shot of things. And all of our adventures, hopefully it'll work really well where we can get that and do a whole bunch of other stuff while we're down there. We also got to start talking about getting a show together for Hobloth, guys. We definitely got to see about either doing the show as part of the quests or events down there.
Yeah, we need to make the daily Britannian quests to where we are missing components to producing our newspaper, and then from there make people go find them.
Ah, Interesting. Very interesting. Well, we'll have to talk about this once we wrap it up. Which reminds me, we are just about
week
at
or
that
two.
point. Again, as time slips away from us as we
And
the conversation
next year
with
you're gonna be
friends
like, next year you're gonna be like, do you have the calendar up? And I'm gonna be like, no.
Hey, Jack,
Okay,
do you have the calendar up?
it's time for the calendar. Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. Remember the calendar is at nbnn.info/calendar.html, or you can just go to nbnn.info and click on the calendar. It is hosted by Avatar Circle, and so it is a massive Google Calendar that we pull across, and it is an aggregate of mini guilds and entities that put their information in there. So all times are Central Standard Time, which is New Britannia time in game. And let's see, today at 2 o'clock there is a role-playing social event at the Paxlayer Town Manager Hour, where you can go hang out with Sean Silverfoot and ask questions about Paxlayer. Tonight on Avatars Radio, remember it is Tuesday, February 23rd, you have Dr. DJ Selly doing Faster and Louder on Avatars Radio, so make sure to tune in for some 70s and 80s rock. And then while you're doing that, you can always do the weekly Every Virtue is Lasting is holding a dungeon crawl every Tuesday to provide fun and experience for our members and guests. All are welcome. Meeting point is in Owl's Head, right next to the Skills Trainer. That begins at 7 and lasts until 8 o'clock. And also at 8 o'clock on Avatars Radio is going to be DJ Lady Addie doing 80s and more. So please listen to Avatars Radio for that. That is the calendar for Tuesday, February 23rd. It takes all of like 2 minutes to really do.
Yeah, well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, Remember, folks, Release 27 coming out this Thursday. There is no wipe, so 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday, we will see Release 27. We are going to see quite a few changes. We will give you the updates on that on Wednesday when Starlong releases that information to the general public. Is when we expect it to be released.
It'll probably be Monday or Tuesday. Yeah.
What do you mean Monday or Tuesday? He's going to release it on Wednesday to tell everybody what to expect on Thursday. He always does.
Nah. Tuesday.
Well, you think he's putting it out today?
No.
Well, thank you.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
He's going to put it out next Tuesday.
Breaking his immersion, man.
Yeah, you're breaking
I
my
know.
immersion.
Breaking my immersion, man.
You're killing me, man. Alrighty. All right, we're going to say thank you to all the good folks out there. Of course, our good friend Relic Spiral. Get your Shroud of the Avatar swag from Relic Spiral. You get your t-shirts, you get your patches, you get your glassware. All that good stuff from Ben out there. RelicSpiral.com. You'll get 10% off your purchases with the promo code NBNN. That should give you a little chance to get a little bit more for your money out there from your friends out here at Relic Spiral and NBNN. We got our good friends over at Soda Taming. Knick-knack with all your taming needs. If you're looking for a good pet that's going to help you get your way through the world, go check out sodataming.com. He'll tell you either how to get it or he'll tell you where to find one cheap. That's our friend Knick-knack over at Soda Taming. Sodacraft.com by Ashmall. You got crafting needs, he's got the information you need out there. All sorts of great information. And I want to thank our latest patrons. We appreciate all the support and help. We want to thank all the folks out there listening on the radio. I want to say hello to all the folks who are watching and supporting us out in the forums, all the world out there. Special hello to Stella Moon out there for coming out and joining us yesterday as well. And Jack, do you want to talk about our friends over at Shroud Market?
Yes, thank you to our friends over at Shroud Marketplace for providing us with the place to buy and sell anything Shroud of the Avatar related. So if you have a unique service that you want to provide and you want to charge people money for it, you can do so at shroudmarketplace.com. If you have a rare that you want to sell, you can always host it up there at shroudmarketplace.com.
Absolutely. Go out and sign up account.
And why am I trying to?
Get rid of that
Yep.
stuff that you don't want. Buy some new stuff. Swap. Trades. I don't know. They don't do trades yet, do they?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, okay.
I believe an auction feature might be coming on in the near future.
Well, that would be cool. That would really be
So,
cool. So we'll keep our eyes out
we will
for
see.
that.
So yeah.
We'll keep our eyes out for that, and we'll let you folks know about it. Otherwise, that's going to wrap it up for us folks today. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. I'm Les.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. I am Jack.
This is Casey Cupcakes.
And we are NBNN. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll be back with you for more tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have the updates that you're all waiting for R27 then. And we'll bring it to you live and in person here on NBNN.info. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. We're out of here. Stay tuned to NBNN for more news, sports, entertainment, crazy, wild happenings, and anything else we can bring you. Scroda, go ahead and play us on out, my friend. Let's give us a little traveling music to go ahead and get out of here with today. Thanks to Scroda for the musical entertainment throughout the show. We do appreciate our newest member of the team here in NBNN as he plays us out. I love this.
Thank you everybody for watching. Yes.
I was playing from the restroom.
You're doing what in the restroom? You're not. Hopefully you washed your hands.
No, I'd get my Apple Watch wet. I love you.
I love you too, baby.